Hey guys, so a quick video on a question that was posed on Instagram to me the other day about how best to get into the sitting position like this on the heels. So for this individual, it was based upon so they could sit down for meditating or for certain yoga positions. This has been asked of me before, so I thought I'd make a video on it, just a couple of exercises to help people with mobilizing, with strengthening, with stretching, and basically the mechanism which gets someone into this kind of position. This is also called the Seiza position, and it's typically the Japanese culture position where how they eat and socialize, but also in kind of modern society it's used for meditating. Now you can get little stools that you can sit on to enable this position, but people do like to do it naturally. So we're going to go through some what is limiting certain people, where they feel pain, and how best you can combat that. So typically someone is going to feel pain either at the front of the ankle, all the way up to the shin and into the knee. That's typically where someone is going to be in pain. And after a time, if you are limited in motion and strength around the lower back, hips, into the glutes area, you may feel you want to slouch. You won't be wanting to sit upright like this, especially if down into the lower limbs it is quite tight. So first off, you're going to have onto the foot and ankle. Now naturally we like to sit and get into this position here, so a nice basic neutral position of the ankle. Okay, rarely do we get into this hyper kind of plantar flex position, and that's how it's seated there. You can see that that's basically the position you're in. So we normally sit in this position here and we stand in this position here. We rarely actually go into this plantar flex position. And so actually stretching the muscles and the tendons and the ligaments, which is exactly what you're doing in that posture, is very hard, it's very uncomfortable to do that. So the first point of call on this will be to actually condition the ankle and the associated muscle, tendon and ligaments into getting in that position, and then actually applying pressure of the body weight actually into the ankle itself. Up the chain here, we've then got the front of the shin. So we've got a selection of muscle groups down the front of the shin, which is also, if they're very tight, they're not going to want to actually enable the ankle to get into that position, because the muscles which basically control the ankle joint, they come up into the lower leg, up into the shin as well. So wanting to stretch all that out there as well. And then we have the knees. If you tighten the knee into the quadriceps and then into the hip flexors, again, that's all going to be connected. So we're going to want to loosen all of that off to enable someone to get. Okay, so first exercise up is basically what we're going to try and do is actually to mobilize some of these joints. Okay, so basic, it's just creating nice little circles in the ankle joints. So you want to go all the way up to the tiptoes, out on the outside of the foot like that, up into the heel, okay, inside of the foot, and then out through the toes. Clicking, cracking is good. Okay, so we want to get all of that out of the joints, and then we can go in both directions as well. Okay, so using that on both legs, okay, will actually get you used to that position. Now we're using the muscles on the posterior of the leg to actually get into this position, but it's the process of actually loosening off the joints, okay, getting used to that position, okay. Now using a bit of body weight, we can actually get foot used to it here. So we're actually stretching all these off. Come forward. So again, we're mobilizing. Okay. Try and come all the way back into here without lifting the toe off. So keep the toe down and then stretching the hamstring into the calf, into there as well. Okay. So really stretching that off onto both sides. Okay, from here, we can look into the hip flexors here, go into the other leg, and we're stretching off there, okay? So we can go into both sides. So we're stretching off into this position, coming all the way up into there. That will help us in getting into this position here, sort of maybe. Okay, so right, tennis ball. We can use a fancy trigger release ball for this one. This is also, my patients will love this because I'm banging on about these all the time. Okay, So we're talking about loosening off muscle joints up in the kinetic chain up to the front of the legs. We can use the tennis ball. You can use something smaller, like a golf ball as well. But start off with something like this. It's soft but hard. It's got a bit of give, okay, but it's nice and hard because it will really get into those muscle groups, okay. So we're going to start off with the front of the shin, so tibialis anterior, okay. So we are looking at the big lumpy bone there. We're going on to the outside of that, and we're stripping all the way down into there. So you can start off here, and then you will feel, so hunt for those spots and then just let the body weight, and eventually a couple of deep breaths, and you basically getting the muscle to loosen off. It will go from being really painful to kind of painful, but it will probably stay quite painful, okay. And you're coming all the way up to the knee. Don't cross over the knee, okay. Stay on the outside of the shin and come all the way down into the ankle there, okay. Obviously working on both sides as well. So we're going all the way down to the front of there as well, okay. You can also use the ball to target the glutes. So sitting on that ball, because of the body weight, this might give, so you might need something a bit harder. A proper foam roller works brilliantly here, okay. And then getting into the glutes, into there as well, okay. Good. Okay. With the golf ball, which is best for this next one, into the plantar fascia, okay. So we can work into here. So loosening off this will basically also help the ankle go into plantar flexion. So the point in there, because if this is tight as well, it's going to cramp up and it's not going to be very pleasant. So loosening this off as well. But golf is better because it's harder, because the plantar fascia is really. Okay, so here we're looking at mobilizing the lower spine. Okay, so again, we've worked all the way from the ankle, we've worked all the way up to the knee, and then we're going all the way up into the lower back. So we're going to be starting in this position, knees bent, feet flat, and we're going to keep the knees together. We're just going to start off 11 and 1 on the clock. Deep abdominal muscles controlling here. We're not letting the knees fall, keeping stable. Okay, then go to 10 and 2. Stay there and gradually get a little bit wider. This is going to mobilize those joints, get them moving a little bit more. You can then now, keeping the arms out, we can then turn all the way to the sides and all the way through there. Keep it controlled.